very small tour. Now, because we are in a vessel, I do have to give you a quick little briefing. Life jackets are upstairs. To get upstairs, there's 3 ways. Well, 4 ways. First way, the ladder in front of you. Second way, the ladder behind you. Third way, stairs. Or if you can find the handles for the windows, you can use those. Okay? Now let's start this tour. I'm going to talk a bit, and then I will have a break, and I'll let you ask me some questions. Now, if you have a look, you'll be able to see some of the coral underneath you. Now, this is our hard coral and our soft coral. Here on the GBR, we have a lot of different species. Okay, so the fish that you can see now are called Fusiliers. And some damselfish. Now, the damselfish are a territorial species that feed on the algae amongst the base of the staghorn coral. They defend their small pilot of algae against all the intruders regardless of their size. So what these little fish do is they try to aim for the eyeballs. Why do you think they try to aim for the eyeballs? It's the most sensitive area of the fish. Okay? If you have a look to the right hand side, you'll see a big black fish. This is a giant javeli, just right next to the glass. Okay, so giant javelis are obviously called giant javelis because they're really big. Now, the reason why they are black is because of testosterone. Testosterone is a male hormone. When they are silver, they have more estrogen. As they grow older, they get more testosterone from the food that they actually eat. Now, underneath us here, we have parrotfish. They're easily recognised from the bright colours and the fusion of their teeth to form a beak-like plate. Now, they actually have 2 jaws. They have that beak at the front, and then they have a set of jaws in their mouth as well. Now, have any of you guys been on the beaches up here lately? Yes? Yep. No? Yep. You're actually standing on poop.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So what goes in obviously must come out. Alrighty? So these fish can actually produce up to 1 ton of sand per year. So they grind the coral and then they poop out the coral, and it's not coral, it's sand. So next time you go walking on the beach, just remember you're standing on fresh parrotfish poop. Fun fact there for you. Now, this area that we are in is called the lagoon. The reason why it's called the lagoon is because it is protected by the wind. Now, if you have a look down, you'll be able to see. If I can find it first. Ah, yes, there it is. You'll be able to see some areas that look a little bit sad. Okay, this bit of coral here coming up, you might think it's dead, but it's not. Okay, what it's called, or what we call it, is live coral rock. Okay. Now, even though the coral is not there, it's perfect opportunity for coral polyps to attach to that. So it's basically just recycle and reuse. Okay, so a lot of the GBR, if you have a look down, you'll be able to see this blue staghorn coral here.
Yep.
Yes. Now, very commonly in the media, I'm sure everyone can agree, the Great Barrier Reef is assumed to be bright, beautiful blue and pinks and everything like that. That's actually wrong, okay? So if the coral was pink and really bright blue, it'd be very hurtful. Now, if you have a look, you'll be able to see the beautiful Nemo. Okay, this is called the Great Barrier Reef clownfish, and there's multiple species of clownfish. Has everyone seen the movie Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
Do you want to know a fun fact about Nemo? Okay, Marlin, who is Nemo's dad, when the large fish in the anemone, which is the Nemo's home, when they go to fishing heaven, they actually turn into a female. So what happens is, once the large fish passes away, the next large fish will go from male to female. So in the movie, Marlin would have turned into a mullet. Okay? If the fish in the anemone don't like you, what will happen is they'll actually kick you out. Okay? They are very territorial grow 1 centimeter every year. Okay, that's very slow growing. Now these stagborn corals, the spikier ones, okay, they are very fast growing. Now if you have a look at the top of them, you will see that there's like white tips. The reason there's white tips is because the zooxanthellae in them actually can't keep up. Now that is the color algae in them, okay? So the reason why, going back to like the bright blues and stuff, the reason why that is inaccurate is because the algae won't be able to keep up with the color. So then the coral will get bleached. Whereas if you see the colors here, how they're all like neutral colors, so there's like browns, greens, olives, stuff like that, that's actually a perfect indication of very healthy reef. Okay, now the area that we just passed over is what we called a rubble patch. You might think, wow, that's all dead coral. No, that's perfect. So Mother Nature has this thing, okay? When it's time to get rid of an old area, the waves and the wind naturally does it itself. Everything loosens up, turns it all over, okay? And then there's enough room for new polyps to grow. So it's basically just reusing and recycling. Okay? Now we are going to get into our deeper areas. Does anyone have any questions?
No. I'm good.
Perfect.
On the cycle where you said that it's on church itself, how long does that take?
Depending, so normally when these cycles happen, it's generally like with big storms.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we get, especially up here in tropical front of Queensland, cyclones are formed from the water being warm.
Yeah.
So when the water's warm in our summer months, that's when our big major weather events happen. That's when everything happens in summer months.
Okay.
A big thing of coral dying is also climate change. So obviously there's not a lot we can do about climate change, but there is also. So we just want to reduce like emissions, so that can be as easy as turning your fan off when you walk out the house, turn your lights off. A lot of public transport these days are actually going solar power.
Yeah.
So you want to like try to walk somewhere or public transport, reduce your eco footprint, stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Another thing which helps us is very shortly we'll be going up to our Mars stars. Now our Mars stars is a rehabilitation program that we have to actually rebuild the coral that we have in these areas.
Okay.
So Mars stars are a metal structure that we cover in limestone carbonate, which is like a sandy texture, which is what the coral grips onto.
Okay.
We'll plant those metal structures in like areas like this,
Yeah.
and we'll collect coral fragments of opportunity. So that can be coral that's been snapped off by snorkelers accidentally keeping it off.
Yeah.
The weather events will attach it to the coral, and then it will grow. Just like a normal coral reef, it just needs a little bit of help to attach.
Okay, cool.
Once these corals are actually growing, we don't move them, we leave them there.
Okay.
Yeah, so this area actually here, this is one of our first Mars stars areas. Okay. This is where we started, and now look at the beautiful reef.
Yeah.
So you can never tell, it's actually overgrown. So if you dig down deep, chisel away, you'd probably find a little bit of metal, but obviously you can't tell. Now if you have a look to the right hand side, you'll see that it's very deep. Okay. The cool thing about the deep water is it pushes up micronutrients. Micronutrients is basically like little algae. Little fish eat the little algae, big fish eat the little fish. Bigger fish eat the big fish. Circle of life.
Do you get to see any sharks here?
We certainly do. Obviously sharks are wild animals, so I can't put a tracker on them, unfortunately, but very shortly we will be going in an area called the pinnacles. Okay, so this is deeper water.
Okay.
Now this is generally where you get to see a big congregations of like big schools of fish, turtle,
Turtle, yeah.
Turtle!
Is it turtle?
Yeah, look at that little turtle.
Yeah.
You guys see it?
Yeah.
That is a hawksbill turtle. So if you just have a look at its nose here, or its beak, you'll see how it's very pointy.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how to tell the difference of a turtle. Now we also have a green sea turtle, which is quite popular out here.
Yep.
Anyone guess why we call it a green sea turtle?
Colour.
Correct, but not correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay? The colour is correct, but it's the colour of their fat tissues.
Oh.
Okay? The reason why, or how they get their colour, is from the seagrass that they eat. So chlorophyll, which is the green part of the plant, okay, it goes into their blood because into their fat tissues because they eat so much, and that's how they get the green name.
Okay.
Alrighty guys, so we have gone into the shallow area. Now have a look down. You'll be able to see, there it is. See the thing that looks like a black sock on the ground just over here? Back towards me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they look like sea cucumbers. Okay, they are sea cucumbers. Now, one fact about these ones is the mouth and the booty hole is the same hole. Okay, so they eat, and they basically vomit it back out.
Okay.
Now they do the same thing filtering out the sand as well, so that's how they get all their nutrients, everything they need. So the sand might look boring, but it has a lot of microalgae in it as well. Just to touch, poke, annoy you, you're gonna maybe not bite back, but you will definitely retaliate. So one thing I say is sharks are actually very, very, very good for the environment. Now if there's no sharks, there'll be an overpopulation of big fish. Overpopulation of big fish, there'll be more fishing. If there's more fishing, then we'll have fish that get extinct. Whereas the sharks, they keep it on a good level. Okay. Another thing that actually hurts our beautiful sharks is shark finning. Has anyone ever heard of shark finning? No, shark finning is a very big trading market in a lot of countries. Now what shark finning is when fishermen catch sharks, cut their fins off, and they actually chuck them back into the ocean alive. Okay? They take these shark fins and they make like soups and stuff out of it as well. Because the leather on the shark is quite tender, it's easy to make like wallets, bags and stuff out of it as well, and it's worth a lot of money. But these poor sharks, it's just like our arms. If we cut our arms off, okay, they do have correct spot that you can recycle your plastics and stuff like that as well.
Okay.
Now, if you have any old clothing or anything, just to let you know, the old clothing, if you throw it out, that's the #1 causing of landfill here in Australia. Okay, so the best spot for your old clothing or unwanted clothes or anything like that is actually a centre, so it can be a homeless shelter, it can be a hospital. Yes, guess what it's called? Bushy coral. Okay, so everything you see here is actually what it is. So we're not that intelligent.